The big conversation, I'm pretty sure, is going to be Matt Ryan didn't play. What the hell is going on with the Atlanta Falcons? Why didn't he play? And all of this other stuff. The offense still looks horrible. We still look terrible in the red zone. You know, the basics. The basic stuff.
The basic, exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't Matt Ryan play? Let me ask you that, because the Eagles will kick off in Atlanta in 2 weeks. Why didn't Matt Ryan play?
I think he didn't play because they saw enough when they had the joint practices with the Miami Dolphins. So it really wasn't a big deal. They felt like, you know, Matt's going into his 14th season. How much preseason does he need to see at this point in his career?
Right.
So I'm thinking that's what the thought process was going into that.
Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. He's played a nice long career. He's played in the Super Bowl and all that stuff. A nice long career. Jalen Hurts has not had a nice long career. Patrick Mahomes, I was making this point all day yesterday. Patrick Mahomes is a perennial MVP candidate. Already won an MVP. Josh Allen was an MVP candidate last year. He plays in the preseason. But Jalen Hurts, all he needs is apparently 2 series in Philadelphia, and then that's it for the rest of the playoff or rest of the preseason. How does that make any sense?
That's not the case. I don't think that's the case. I know he didn't play the other day, and I think that was because, you know, coming off of the sickness that he had, and the fact that you don't want to get your only quarterback at the time that you had on your roster. You don't want to get him hurt. I think that went into it as well. But now you got Gardner Minshew there now. Got Gardner Minshew there. And I could just imagine what the conversation was on sports radio in Philadelphia was today. Him being there, the fact that the Eagles have been real non-committal when it comes to actually naming the starter. If I'm not mistaken, they named him the starter, then they go out and they trade for Gardner Minshew. And being down here in this area, Mark, I can tell you right now, Gardner Minshew he feels that he's a starter.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely feels like he's a starter because when they had Trevor Lawrence, when he's on the team with Trevor Lawrence, he basically said he didn't take a number 2. He didn't poo-poo because he wanted to be the starting quarterback. And you got to look at that and be like, man, that's bold.
Yeah.
For a guy who's on a team where they drafted the number 1 overall pick in the draft to still feel like he got a shot to start. So he's coming to Philadelphia. I would not be surprised if a coach, Nick Sirianni, or someone in the organization told him, you will have a chance. You got a chance to start here. Because you think about it, your agent, you're talking to your agent, and he's probably saying, you know, I want to be traded or I want to go somewhere and I want to play or whatever. What team can I go to where I have a chance to start this year? You're talking about a 2-week hiatus before the season actually starts. Not saying that he's going to be under center when they play the Falcons, but, you know, if he has a good week of work, man, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
All right. So you would say this. You would agree that Jalen Hurts will most likely start the season for the Eagles. However, he'll be on a very short leash with Gardner Minshew coming to Philadelphia. Very,
very short leash. Because think about it like this, Mark. You went out and you got Joe Flacco.
Oh, and real quick, they haven't named him officially the starter yet. No, that hasn't happened. Yeah.
They haven't, but you got Joe Flacco.
Right.
You got Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts has been getting most of the reps, the quality reps. And they said all the right things about him at that position. But damn it, you go out and you trade and get a quarterback. So what does that tell you? I mean, that's common sense right there. That's common sense. You're bringing in somebody because you feel like you can still upgrade at that position. You're bringing them in 2 weeks before the season starts. So you're not that comfortable with them. You're not. I mean, no matter what they say, you can sit here and say, hey, we got depth, we wanted depth, whatever. No, you're not comfortable at that position. You're looking to upgrade. That's just like them bringing in, like, say if I'm the starting defensive end, and they bring in somebody right before the season starts that plays the exact same position that I play. That tells me that they're not that comfortable with the way that I'm playing right now. Or they haven't seen enough. And I think in this case with Jalen Hurts, you hadn't seen enough.
All right, so it's not about depth in your mind, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. I still think that they want Jalen Hurts to take the reins as the starting quarterback of this football team and play for the season. However, with that being said, I think you're right. Short leash, Gardner Minshew's right there in case Jalen Hurts is not at all that guy.
Think about it like this, Mark. When you look at, just say body of work, let's break it down to the body of work between the two. Gardner Minshew has a more of a repertoire. He has a more archived work.
Oh, 2 years of experience. Jalen Hurts has 4 starts.
Yes, And then on top of that, man, think about Gardner Minshew. When you talk about the charismatic person that he is, I mean, think about it. Perfect fit in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
You know that if Jalen Hurts gets off to a rocky start, which I think that everybody's going to get off to a rocky start. I think Matt Ryan's going to get off to a rocky start. You know, we were talking about that the other day when we were saying that, you know, with the fact that you haven't played a whole lot of preseason games, there's going to be mistakes that are going to be made. But I think with Jalen Hurts, the issue is going to be, you know, especially when you got Gardner Minshew working in there, working in there in the time frame that he's in at 2 weeks before the season starts, that Jalen Hurts is going to be looking over his shoulder, you know, because he knows that Gardner Minshew is there. And Gardner Minshew has made it clear that he wants to be a starter. So that's a tough spot to be in. So if he goes out there and he messes up, you know, he's going to be pulled. He's not going to have the same kind of leash that you would say like a Matt Ryan would have being a 14-year vet if he goes out there and they get off to a slow start offensively. Gotcha.
So let me get into this with you. Well, first off, do you think Minshew, or do you just need to see more from Jalen Hurts? Do you think Minshew will eventually take over the starter's role here in Philadelphia?
I think that let me say this, Mark, because I don't know. I think that his body of work kind of speaks for itself. He has a little bit more experience playing the quarterback position at this level than Jalen Hurts has. And I think that one of the reasons why he came to Philadelphia because he felt like he had an opportunity to take the job. I'll say that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with all that. That's great. Yeah.
I will say that Jalen Hurts is going to he's almost going to have to be perfect, man. I mean, that's unfortunate. He's gonna have to be perfect because he's already, like, when you think about how his preseason has went, he said all the right things, but again, I go back to the conversation. The Eagles have not committed to him. They have been hedging the whole time. You heard, like, think about it. You heard over the weekend how a team has pulled out of the Deshaun Watson bidding, a team that was on his heels. And we all thought that it was the Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason why they pulled out, because there's too much stuff going on as far as this court case and everything. It's just too much, and the Texans want too much.
And he supposedly doesn't want to come to Philadelphia. It's apparently not on his list.
And now, Gardner Minshew's here. I mean, hello. I mean, you know, the big T, you know, you got to start to read, like, you got to read the tea leaves a little bit. You got to be a little hot takey, Mark. You got to be a little hot takey in this business. You got to be a little hot takey.
It's not a hot take if you believe it.